Hi everybody, welcome back. This is our 1 week update of the baby chicks that we got. The baby chicks are about 9 days old, roughly, when they came from the hatchery. It's been a week since we've had them. We obviously, as you can see, we did a little upgrade on the breeding setup here, made it bigger, more roomy for them. Just give them some more room to run. They seemed like they were wanting to run and move a little bit more, so we decided to just go ahead and build this out. All scrap wood put together to make a brooding area. So yeah, let's get into it. What we added is a roosting bar here, so they can roost on it. They're not on it right now. They were all on it. They'll all get on there. Probably out of the 20, I've seen up to 12 on there. It's just made out of a peach tree branch and a 2x3, and then a plywood underneath that to hold it in there. That's what that is there, underneath there, and then covered up, obviously. They seem to like it a lot. They're kind of laying down and resting right now. We did go ahead and upgrade to the larger water, the hanging one, just so it gets them up off the water so they don't get as much stuff in it. As you can see, they still are getting stuff in it, but it's shoulder height to the smallest chick, and we'll keep raising it as we go. Daily right now, the way the chickens are growing, and we're changing stuff on a daily basis with height and stuff. So that's that, shoulder height on that. And then the food, we've elevated the food on there because when they're on the ground, they were just getting on top of it, and obviously they don't control themselves, so they were pooping in them. And now they can reach it higher. We'll keep raising it higher and higher, getting them used to it being higher, same way, shoulder, just so they can reach in there and get it. They are doing just fine, as you can tell. Obviously still making a mess, which we know they're going to do that with the feed. So yeah, that's the food. They're just up on, that's an old weed eater part that we put in there, use that, and we got some small plates on the other one over there. And then that way the two feeders can be in here at all times as well. With a much bigger area, we also added in a dusting scratch pan that they're all sleeping in right now. You know, chickens. They were all sleeping here just a minute ago. They've all decided to go over there and take a rest in the scratching pan. Put some food in that and some of the bedding in there because they were really wanting to scratch and dug in and stuff. So figured we'd give them something to do that with. As you can tell, there's a few areas where they've dug down in with this stuff, but and there she goes right there, scratching in there. Give them the opportunity to scratch to find food and stuff like they would do in the wild and everything. So, mealworms, we have introduced mealworms. As you're filming there, I'm going to get the mealworm bag here. We just went ahead and bought the big meal bag worm bag here. That's just the dry mealworms. Pretty good price on this. We went and got the 5-pound bag, and I think it was like $30 on that. But like a 2.5-pound bag was like $10, or a 8-ounce bag was like $10. It was kind of crazy on that and everything. Still have the same chicken starter feed, which they'll be on that until 8 weeks, roughly, is when we'll start switching them over when they're not growing anymore. But mealworms, you want to break them up. It seems like if you just throw in the large ones just as holes, they won't eat them. They're kind of weary of them or something on them, or just too big for them. So at least break them up, make them a little bit smaller for them so they can eat them as baby chicks and everything. So yeah, that's kind of the setup right now. We are going to add some other things, probably a dust bath thing in here. Something coming up will be probably on the next video, the next week goes. So yeah, they're just moving themselves around, eating. They're flapping their wings. They got good amount of wings in. They got their pin feathers in. You can see on Miss Rhode Island Red here. I'm disturbing them, so they're going to move around. She got good wings. Come here. Come here. They always come up to me once I pick somebody up. The feathers coming in nicely. Nice, beautiful feathers coming in. They're starting to get their beak crown. The comb, I mean, sorry. So they're getting that comb there. And if you don't like that. The Rhode Island Reds are the ones that are least wanting to be handled. But I'm trying to handle them as much as I can so that way they're not so rooty, so mean. That's one kick on the Rhode Island Reds I've read up on. That they can be the ones that are a little bit meaner and doesn't want to be held and everything. They like my ring. They like to peck at my shiny ring. Tail feathers coming in nicely. You can see the tail feathers. Rhode Island Red there, and most of the other ones have gotten them. Even Australorps are getting it right there. Getting their tail feathers in. Let her down. Americanas are really getting them in good. Come here, I'm going to go ahead and pick you up. Americana here. Good wings on her. There. Getting a nice tail feather on her as well. Turning into some beautiful birds. For sure, they're getting there. It's amazing the size that they've grown over 1 week. They're very small. You come out here every day and just keep getting bigger and bigger every day. So yeah, they definitely grow fast. That feed is really getting them good and fast, which we want. Being in the fall, we want them to get as grown big as fast as we can to be able to get them out in the coop to where their home's going to be. Because, it's getting colder. So we want to be able to regulate their own heat when they get out there and just keep the coop above freezing, which you'll see how big our coop is and eventually and stuff and insulated and all that. So chickens are developing really good. Haven't had any issues with any of them. They did have pasty butt. You know that, and you got to go in and clean that up and everything else. We didn't show that. We just took them all out and did that and everything. We were using a cooler to transfer them while we cleaned out everything and all that. But since now we got the brooder we were using to begin with, we're going to probably just transfer them into that when we do change them out and everything else. The bedding we're changing out on a daily basis and everything. Or every other day, I'm sorry, not every day. Every other day. Changing out the bedding, cleaning it all out and everything else. We've got a fly trap over here because we are getting a lot of flies. We do open the garage door quite a bit for them to get them some natural light and stuff in here and some wind and just some natural stuff coming in instead of just being closing the garage. Recommendation on the fly trap. Do not hang it over the coop. They will fall because they're fly traps. Nothing's ever 100% secure. Or when you're trying to move it and you drop it. We did have that incident. So, learn from our mistake. Don't do that. I'm going to show you this little girl over here. Right here. This is my little FT. Right here. She's the one that got the brunt of the fly trap. So we had to take her out and clean her up. We used Dawn dish soap and then oil. Just some natural vegetable oil. You clean it all off. She's no longer sticky, but by doing all that cleaning and everything else, she looks much smaller than the rest. It's basically just her feathers. They got matted down and all that stuff and everything else. Just worried about her, but she was eating and drinking just fine and everything else. But so now she looks like our smallest one. But she is an Americana. She loves me picking her up now. She'll sit in my hand here for a while and just kind of roost. She's a good girl. But yeah, so don't put a fly trap over your coop. Put it to the side to get the flies. Or make sure it's 100% secure. They're all over there eating and laying down, roosting. None of them on the bar, which I'm shocked by. They obviously were on the roosting bar a lot. But with all the new stuff and the pans and everything else, they kind of gravitating towards that stuff and everything. When they were in the smaller brooder, they were definitely always up onto the roosting bar. But I guess right now, see, she's like good. She's like good. Just kind of sits on my arm, my hand there. Doesn't care to get out. This one's gonna peck at my ring probably. So she's good. So yeah, that's the week 1 update. They are growing fast. I'm intrigued to see what they look like going into week 2 here and how much they grow. They should be quite a substantially bigger difference going into week 2. There you go. Just gently gives out. Some of them will try to jump out and fight you and everything else. And that one's stretching out nice. It's amazing how tall they've gotten. You can really see their legs up underneath. They're not hidden anymore. Before it was like they were walking on air and you couldn't even see their legs. But yeah, growing up good. They're doing good. I think that's all we need to go over in week 2. new brooder set up. We'll probably have some new stuff we're going to start introducing with the waters and everything like that for them. Obviously, if I didn't say, this was hanging. So we got it's on a ratchet strap as well. To make sure it goes up and down, so we can adjust that just like the heat lamp. The Premier One heat lamp, I highly recommend it. Love it a lot. Gives off a lot of good heat. If you're here, it's really nice and hot. And the temp in there right now, we're trying to be between 85 and 90. It's an 89 right now, so we'll let that drop a little bit tonight before we lower it. I want to get them down to 85 for this week, and then next week we'll be getting into 80 to 85 range for them, dropping it 5 degrees every week. Get them used to regulating their own heat here eventually. This is our big girl over here. She's all by herself, the Americana. Over there. She's the biggest one, I think, in the bunch. And she kind of tries to rule. Her and the big red. They try to rule for sure now. So they know the size they are. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll keep taking you along our journey as we go along with the chickens. If you could, subscribe, like the video, make any comments, and any help or suggestions or comments you want to make, we appreciate it. Other than that, have a good time. See you later.